Hello, everyone. Jane here from Your Way Weight Loss. Hi, Leash.
Hi.
Today, we're finalizing part four of what is a calorie deficit. So hopefully you guys have learned a lot in the first three parts. Today's a good one because we're going to actually help you to figure out how to create a deficit within your own life.
The $1,000,000 question.
And it's quite interesting to me that people would want someone else to kind of figure out that piece for them, right? So, what do you think is that part of the human brain that wants to kind of sit back, relax, and get the weight off? Like that's almost what I feel when people are like, "Oh, just tell me what to do. Tell me like how to figure this out," and they're not thinking about, I guess, the consequences of that, not just like losing the weight and gaining it back because it's not your way, but why would you want that? You know, for me, it's almost like I wouldn't want someone to tell me how to raise my kids because they're mine, you know? And I don't think that we would do that with our kids. I'll just tell me what to do, la. Just like do it for me type thing. But when it comes to weight loss, we kind of have that that little want at the beginning. And I understand the want. Now I don't because I've like done it my way for so long that I'm like, go away. Do not tell me what to eat because I got this. Maybe that's the part where people feel like they don't got this.
Do you need me? Or are you good? I think it's also because partly people don't trust themselves.
Right.
It's almost like they don't believe, and maybe that's part of like diet culture where it comes from, where they think that there's like specific rules and certain food, and they really still hold on to the fact that there's a right way and a wrong way, and that you can mess it up basically.
I know. And it's also the control piece. Like you should want the control. You should want to be in charge. Like I want to be
in charge is scary. In charge is scary.
Right. Being an adult is scary.
And we're really all in charge. It is. I have moments sometimes where I'm like, okay, so I'm the one making this decision. Like, no, who's going to like come if I don't pay my bills? I mean, there will be people that come, but
they come with their little suitcase,
their briefcase. But I think people maybe are afraid of the ownership because if they are not successful, then it was on them, right? They can't blame a diet if it was them.
And also, like, let's be real, this is all new to most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the concept, and even as we're about to get into this podcast, the concept, I think if you guys are listening to this and you've listened to all three before, I hope, please listen to this with accepting that you don't need a specific number of calories every day to aim for. Like getting past that is huge because what we're about to tell you, you need to have like accepted that, okay, they're right. Like I can do this without counting, or else you're still in the back of your mind. But what, but if, but what, right?
Yes. Yes. And people need to understand that the rules don't really teach you anything. Like they don't teach you. They don't teach you how you work, how your brain works, how your body works. They just basically are thinking about you and your weight loss journey, but they're not thinking about you.
That's the thing.
They don't care about you.
They don't, or your feelings or your happiness or your preferences. So basically every diet works, guys, because if you adhere to it, every single diet works if you adhere to it, because the rules that the diet has created will put you in a calorie deficit. Okay. The number one reason, though, that people do not follow diets is they don't adhere to it. They don't follow the rules because the rules are not made for them.
And I think that at the end of the day, what we're going to try to do today is tell you, how are you going to create a calorie deficit within your life that you're actually going to follow? Like that's the difference, because other diets where they tell you what to do, basically they're telling you how to be in a deficit. The hard part is following it. Like Alicia said, it's adhere. I like that fancy word.
It is fancy.
It is really fancy.
Okay, so here, are you ready for the moment, guys? There's really two steps. I mean, there's maybe 3, 4, or 5 steps, but the very first massive step for you to create a calorie deficit in your life is awareness.
Why is this so hard? Like,
Like
Oh,
human beings struggle so much with awareness. Like it is reported, guys. This is not something we made up. This is not from I mean, it is from our experience, but every other, like, fitness influencer, coach, person that I listen to, their podcast, people are unaware of, whether they're tracking or not, how many total calories they're taking in 7 days.
and why is it so hard for, like, right now, society is struggling to say, we are struggling with our weight because we are all just consuming more than we are burning in general as a society. So human beings right now in general are eating too much and not moving enough. And that's okay. Like, we don't have to like make it this thing, or it doesn't have to be so negative, but at the same time, it is causing health issues. Like, it is causing health issues in the world, in North America.
Absolutely. And being overweight is so accessible where we live. There's so much food available. High calorie food is really inexpensive. We all have cars. It's not a part of our lifestyle. It's the norm. So we live in an environment where it's the norm to be overweight.
Absolutely. I was thinking that the other day. I was driving and I was thinking about how, just in general, because of, well, for us, like, obviously everyone that's listening to this is from everywhere. So maybe where you're from, it probably is actually a completely different lifestyle than what Alicia and I have here in New Brunswick, Canada, right? But it really is so interesting to me, where I'm like, it's not, the little Vachon's fault at the grocery store that it's like, oh, it's so accessible. It's literally our lifestyle. Where we live is like our lifestyle. Weekends we drink. During the week we do that. Evenings we eat. Like, it's just what it is. Like, it's the lifestyle we've created. What if everyone's lifestyle, if we would have grown up and been raised that way, where evenings you go outside? Like, that could be our lifestyle. Evenings you don't sit and watch TV. You actually go outside. I mean, let's go back. Let's go back to 1953, where, yeah, probably the obesity rate was way lower than it is right now. It's because the lifestyle was different.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. We had, maybe access to less crappy food, but I do think, or high calorie foods, but I do think that there's a huge part of this that is mindset, lifestyle, what we see with our eyes. And just like with the years, this is where we're at.
And we're not saying that all of you guys should be losing weight because you're all overweight. What we're saying is you need to be aware of like, open our eyes, look around the environment that we live in. And that when we say, okay, if you want to lose weight, you need to consume less calories. We're not saying you're a bad human. We're not saying that you're eating terrible food. We are saying, if you want to lose weight, you need to consume less calories, and you need to figure out all of the places in your life where stuff is coming in that maybe you're willing to change.
Absolutely. And I want to plug in right there, Leash, that when we say you need to consume less calories, we're not saying you need to consume no calories. Like, how dramatic are people sometimes? I'm sorry, we love you, but like, it is sometimes we hear that often. It's like, aren't you afraid that the person will eat 2 calories? I'm like, well, that was never said. And also, you're not going to survive that. Like, that's not the problem we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with obesity. So, I mean, obviously people are all over consuming what they burn in a run of a day. Aren't we worried about that instead? There's a place for that conversation as well.
There is a place for that conversation. And often when people are consuming very low amounts of calories on a daily basis, they're actually then way overeating by thousands on the weekend or the evening if they're a person that's not being successful with their goals.
Absolutely.
So it's important to remember that we're not just talking about Monday, what you do on Monday. We're saying on average over 7 days, how much you need to consume less. And if anything, we are advocates for consuming in a deficit in a way that you're going to stick to. So I would rather you be in a very small deficit and lose slowly and feel happy. I mean, my gosh, how many more times do we have to say it? Happiness.
I know. And like, slow, sustainable changes, like, we say it over and over. And like you said, like, that's been our message this whole time. So, but at the end of the day, like you said, if you are looking to lose weight, you need to create a deficit. And if you have not been losing weight, you are not creating one. Therefore, you need to look within your own life to make some changes, make some adjustments that seem sustainable to you, that also go with your values and your priorities to start creating one. That's it.
Bam.
No
That's
one's
it.
saying starve yourself, less
No.
calories. Like, stop it. You're also like wanting to hear that message sometimes, I think.
And also, if you are at a point, and this maybe, would be for someone that's like near the end of their journey, if you're at a point where you're like consuming less is going to make me unhappy, don't do it.
Absolutely. Good point.
Like, you are the boss, and you need to, sometimes we get kind of distracted and just like in this weight loss mode. Guys, at some point you need to look and say, okay, this is it. Like,
this is the lifestyle I want.
This is it.
Yeah. And it all goes with the lifestyle. Like, you were so drawn to a number sometimes, and we don't even think of the lifestyle that comes with that number, and that you would be unhappy with that lifestyle. But we're so drawn to numbers. And that's why we're trying to like get you out of numbers and really focus on happiness, priorities, values, lifestyle.
And what's so ironic is when you shift your focus to that, is the weight loss is going to be such a byproduct, and you're going to be so happy while doing it because you're only making changes in the area in which you're willing and ready to work on.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the things that can increase, like that really should help them increase their awareness and probably help them with their weight loss goals. The first one is measuring your food.
Yes.
So this is for someone that wants to increase their awareness. We're not saying everyone needs to measure their food. I don't measure my food. Okay. But if you're like, I am not realizing where all my calories are coming from.
But as much as you say that you're not a person that measured your food, you had a moment during Calorie Deficit Bootcamp where you took the time to measure to how many calories in Cool Whip that was coming in. And you were like, whoa.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, because I realized that my body was not creating a deficit, and I was like, so interesting. And just for fun, I knew that my afternoon snack was extra, and I needed to like look into it a little bit more. And that's when I realized that just with my afternoon snack, I was consuming over 225 calories of just the whipped cream in my snack.
And you can look at things like peanut butter. Like when you're having your peanut butter, how much are you having? Your sauce, right? All like there's certain food items that it is, and we're not saying do anything with it. We're just saying be aware, be aware, be aware that your toast actually has 300 calories of peanut butter on it.
And I don't know if like Alicia said, you don't have to do anything about it.
No. I don't know if you saw, there was a member on the group who showed a picture of her snack, and it was like Greek yogurt mixed with a few other things. Delicious, healthy, nutrient-dense options, okay? She said, after creating better awareness in my own life, I was eating, she said, this is 300 and something calories, and I was eating double before I was aware of my portion. Wow. Again, nothing wrong with that, but she didn't realize, she was not aware that that healthy, nutrient-dense snack was actually almost 700 calories.
We see, like, how often do we hear this, Leish? Like, I mean, during the boot camp, during this day, we actually got people to comment, like, because they were on day 4. And so creating a lot of awareness, obviously us talking about awareness over and over. And tons of people just like started commenting like, wow, I realized I take so many bites. I eat half of my supper while standing up, and then I fill in like the actual portion that I had planned to. And again, you're not evil. We're not trying to call you out. We're just saying that instead of feeling like you're broken, instead of feeling like I'm just meant to be overweight because I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so that's a place that most people are right now, confused and don't understand why they're overweight sometimes. Literally people don't understand why they're overweight. So we're going both ways. We're saying science is telling you that you are consuming more energy than you are burning. You, not your husband, not your neighbor, you. And then also it's telling you need to create more awareness because you don't know why.
Exactly. I love the idea. Like our members have access to the 7-day lifestyle challenge, which is a food journal. So you can write everything that you eat for 7 days. And then we have some prompting, reflecting questions. And I promise you, if you did that for 7 days, imagine you recorded every single thing you put in your mouth for 7 days, you would realize things like Jose listed, the extra bites. Guys, if you start weighing a few of your portions, you might realize that you're actually consuming 8 ounces of extra lean ground beef. And you put that in MyFitnessPal, not to track exactly how many calories you ate in the day, but just to get an idea. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's 700 calories of beef on my plate, plus sauce, plus this, plus that. Like there is so much power in awareness because then you get to choose.
And just lately, Leash, I've been really, really thinking about how powerful it is to no longer label food as good as and bad. Like it's it's a powerful message out there that people need to think about and really embrace, because it takes out so much of the drama. And I was thinking about how when we look at someone that might be overweight and we think, so I don't think that way because I know, like, I've stopped labeling. But often enough, when we see someone overweight, we'll think, oh, they eat bad food. They
Yep.
always eat out. Maybe
Yep.
they do, but these people aren't evil. That's how they feed their body in a calorie surplus way. But you could be eating at home and eating the same amount of calories that Buddy's eating at McDonald's with your homemade macaroni. Like,
Easy.
easy. Pas de problème là.
Easy.
Okay. So that's why when someone gains 20 pounds and you're like, oh, they've gained weight. They just basically, it's not because they all of a sudden don't care or whatever, or they started eating out more, or there's no specific thing other than they started consuming more than they were burning. So maybe, they didn't move a lot this year, or maybe, yes, a pandemic happened and they started drinking more than usual. That's how people gain weight, guys. Not because they started going to McDonald's.
It's all about awareness, guys.
Yeah.
So, in boot camp, I set people homework and I said, I would love for you guys to go away and figure out the calories in 5 things that you eat often that you actually have no idea. So maybe the beer that you drink, like, I know it sucks, guys, but alcohol has calories. Trust me, I'm devastated. And you can't unknow those things. So once I know, then I'm like, oh, I can't unknow it. And I'm a little annoyed and want to be naive, but it's a power. Knowledge is power. And then I choose.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Because that's when that's what we've noticed the most with doing this for years and talking to so many people and meeting so many people that want to lose weight and want to learn about the knowledge behind it, is that we see where the knowledge is out there in the universe. And we're like, oh my gosh, like they need to learn, like, and it's so different from one person to another. Like some people would say things like, I don't know why I didn't lose weight this week. I didn't go get takeout. I didn't. And I'm like, it's not about what you didn't do, and just those conversations make them feel more aware. Like, she's right. Like, I'm not losing weight because of things I don't do. I'm where I'm at because of the things I do. Like, so I said, let's not play that game of like, I didn't lose weight this week and I didn't even eat the pie in the staff room. It's not about what you didn't eat. Awesome. But at the same time, like, you got your results out of what you did do, and so it's the pie that was labeled bad, or it's the takeout or whatever. But at the end of the day, knowing that you can overconsume, being aware of what you are actually consuming and not what you're not consuming, or again, what your husband is consuming or your neighbor. It's about what you're consuming and getting more aware of that.
Exactly. So, the actual concrete tools that you guys can use is to keep a food journal. I dare you to for 7 days. As much as the bad news is, guys, that there is calories in alcohol, there's also 7 days in a week. So I need you to know that you could consume thousands of calories above your maintenance level on the weekend. Easy.
Easy, easy. And that's not your fault. It's because of the lifestyle we live in 2021. Saturday rolls around or Friday rolls around and everyone's out at the restaurant eating high calorie meals, drinking all day Saturday. No one's moving their body. It's Saturday. We only do that
Yep.
for Monday. That's the lifestyle society has created for ourselves.
That's that diet mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, weekends, evenings, moments where you're standing in your pantry. Guys, I need to tell you that I'm again, this is all very experienced moments. A couple shots of chocolate chips, a little chase of a tablespoon of peanut butter, a tablespoon, which is actually two, a cracker here and there. We've all had moments standing in our pantry. Again, I could easily consume 1,000 calories in my pantry in 10 minutes. No problem.
Absolutely. And one of the other ones, Leash, I think is an important one is reading those labels and getting,
Yes.
and sometimes you've never read labels or you're like not sure what to look at. I would say portion and calories, right? Okay. So for half a cup, I get this. That's it. If you're not like, you don't have to be an expert though.
Absolutely. Like I looked at Oreos the other day. I'm like, okay, 2 Oreos, 140 calories.
110 calories.
Mine were double stuffed. I was like, check. Absolutely. Those 2 Oreos are worth it to me. I know I can fit them in my calorie deficit day. No drama because I ate Oreos. How delicious and amazing is my life? And I just read a label.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When I saw that Oreos, my mom has Oreos out, and I was like, how many calories is in an Oreo? Because after supper, I wanted chocolate. And I was thinking, I wanted sweet, I wanted chocolate, I wanted like a tiny dessert. And I'm like, I'd like for it to be under 100 calories. Like whatever I'm choosing, I need to like fit it in under 100 calories because I had like a 400 calorie supper. So I can't have a 200 calorie dessert where I had 700 just by supper. Okay. So I'm like, okay. And I want to eat at night. So like, there's only so much I can have. So I said, okay, let's have a look here. What's at my mom's? And when I saw that one Oreo was 55 calories, I'm like, Oreo it is. And I like so delicious, opened it up, ate the thing. And because there's no drama and I know that eating one does not affect my goals. I don't want to eat 17 because I want both. I want Oreos and goals.
Oh, right there. I want Oreos and goals and they can coexist, which is like the best news ever.
All right, we're leaving you with that good news because Alicia did give you some really negative news with the alcohol and the 7 days a week. But just that, like you guys need that reality check sometimes. Like the alcohol.
You know what?
Yep.
Oh, alcohol. Ooh.
Alcohol weekends. They exist and they are affecting your calorie deficit if you're trying to create one. Done.
The fancy drinks at Starbucks could be 500 calories and that's not even a meal. It's not even food. I just want to share with you guys one moment where I was cooking supper for my family. I was using this honey garlic jarred sauce and I thought, how bad could this sauce be? I'll just have some. Okay. And I had some and I looked and the jar itself was like this big and it had like over 1,000 calories in the jar.
And the jar Alicia showed it's just like a little jam jar, maybe? Like, is that
a little bit bigger?
A little bit bigger.
But basically, I had consumed at least 200 calories with my meal of sauce by thinking, how bad could it be? So now I'm aware. Yeah. Sometimes I choose that. I have a little bit less sauce. Sometimes I choose that. Sometimes I don't. It's not worth it to me. But I was able to choose that because I had awareness.
Yes. And I feel like sometimes when we try to avoid the awareness, we're avoiding the label, we're avoiding the Googling to see how much our Starbucks is. That's fine. Again, you're not evil, but that's you kind of hiding and you're trying to stay comfortable. And again, I think that's the fear piece of, well, if I know how it is, I can't have it anymore. No, that's not what we're saying. But you deserve to know.
You deserve to know.
Yeah, you deserve to know. And then if it does affect you not wanting it next time or whatever, then good for you. That's you being in control, or ordering a smaller size at Starbucks instead,
Exactly.
And you know what, Leash, I'm going to say this. Only after you know how many calories is in something do you know if it's worth it. You can't tell me it's worth it before you know. There are things that I consume that I'm like, oh, worth it. But you tell me there are 3,000 calories. No, I'll find something else for 3,000 calories that I'm like, I could have more of, or you know what I mean? Like I've always felt like ice cream was worth it. But when I looked at a Blizzard.
Oh, that's a great example.
I was like, wow, okay, I'll find something, like I'll eat ice cream in another way. Does that make sense? I'll like make my own at home or something. But like a Dairy Queen Blizzard is insane.
I don't actually even know how they fit all that in. Like, what is
I
in
don't know.
there?
And you know what I was most shocked by was the carbs.
And sugar.
Not even yeah, because it's sugar, right? Not even the amount of calories, which was like over 500. I'm like, I could have a Big Mac. That's when I start comparing because I have knowledge. I'm like, I could have a Big Mac instead of this, because let's be real. When I want a blizzard, I wanted the biggest blizzard the size of my head. That's what I want. That's the amount that I want. And that amount equals thousands of calories, okay? But when I want a Big Mac, I don't want 3. I want 1. Does that make sense? There's like a difference there. So I'm like, I'll have 1 Big Mac instead of, and have protein and have, that fills me up more than a small blizzard. A small blizzard is like air to me, no? Like I crunch that in 2 minutes, no?
Yes, I'm the same. I looked up blizzards one day and I was actually shocked by it. And now I have that awareness. Guys, it's like your money. It's your budget. When you go to the store, you often don't just choose a shirt without looking how much it cost. You look at the shirt, you try it on, you see if you like it, then you look at the price tag. Maybe you did the price tag before, but you create awareness around these choices. And we just want you to do the same with your food choices.
And we all have our limits when it comes to what's worth it. I can walk into a store and be like, this is the prettiest shirt I've ever seen. I've been dreaming of this shirt for the rest of, like, I don't care the price. You know what I mean? And then you look at the price and it's $15,000. Well, nope, that does. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to leave the shirt. Like, it's actually not that worth it. And I can't be mad at the supplier. No. I can't be mad at the person doing the shirt and be like, this is ridiculous. $15,000. I mean, I can, but at the end of the day, that's what he wants. That's what it is. So sometimes I see people being upset with the awareness. Like, I can't believe this is whatever. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's, at least now. And then you can choose if you want to purchase it, You
can choose if you want to, once you figure out how many calories are in your coffee, let's say you have creamer and you're like, oh my gosh, my coffee's 200 calories. So then you choose, do I want to keep it that way? Do I want to adjust it? Do I want to only have 1 when I normally have 3? It's really is about awareness and choices, ownership.
Yeah, I feel like we did great on this podcast. I feel like people are listening right now. It's been 27 minutes, but I do feel like they're listening. If you're listening, please shout out. No, but like have a moment where you're like, wow, I am just by listening, and I haven't even like looked at anything. I am being more like, I know I can find some answers. No, like I have created awareness.
Let's give them homework. I would love for you guys to do the same homework as boot camp. Go and create awareness in your own life and go look up things that you don't maybe know how many calories and you consume on a regular basis, or weigh a portion of ground beef that you normally have. I would love to hear all about it. It's send us a DM on Instagram and tell us about your awareness that you were created after listening to this podcast.
I love it. Okay, so come find us on Instagram. We're probably doing something fun on our stories.
No big deal.
Whatever platform you're listening our podcast on, please follow us, give us a review, do your thing. Find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook under Your Way Weight Loss, or online yourwayrsupport.com. Join us, guys. Bye.
See ya.